Alright, it is Monday, 9/23, July 19th, and this is the main watch list, SBES. I'll watch this if this thing can continue an uptrend. It's not really the best one. I might remove this, but in theory, it could provide some kind of a price action, maybe. I wouldn't want this to be a panic or anything. I'd want it to be a morning spike, if anything. INCC, I'll watch this. Maybe this thing can spike again and continue a follow-up run-up, but it's probably not. I mean, why not? Why can't it, make an uptrend and maybe even try to break 88 or something crazy like that? But, I have it there. It's probably not going to do much, if anything. DPLS, I will be watching this for either a spike or a morning panic bounce play. LCLP, I'd rather see this uptrend. It could do a panic, but it's probably going to do a panic. But this is less ideal. Although this thing can show that it can provide some price action, so that could happen in theory. And then on the other screen, I am watching other stocks like, for morning panic bounce plays, which would be like this. Gamer, for example, some of these if they have it. So that's where I'm at. I will be considering perhaps trading larger on morning panic bounce plays, but I'm going to take it really cautiously. I'd rather just take it easy. I mean, I don't mind trading a little larger, but I don't want to do anything too crazy, especially with, in theory DPLS could do one of those fake out panics. I don't want to really get stuck into that, so if I do trade larger, it won't be that much. I do have to push myself and keep trying to do my best, not slack too much, but at the same time I'm not trying to just completely just blow up this week. At least in theory, I don't want to do anything too crazy. Alright, it is 9:43 and I just traded DPLS. It seems like I didn't hold it that long, but I really like how I just nailed the price action so perfectly. We started to have this downtrend, right, and I thought, okay, well, this could be a potential bottom, this candle right here. This was at the time the largest volume candle, but I said, alright, let me just continue to wait. Let's see if the next candle becomes a consolidation candle or if it's going to downtrend. Right, the next candle did downtrend and became another big volume candle. Okay, so then here we had this turnaround, right? And I thought, alright, they're probably going to break the 125 level, and that's exactly what they did. It had one more downtrend, and that's when I took an entry at 9:39, the green candle following after that. I wasn't able to get any of this price action here. I had my order when it was down here at this 12 level. I didn't get executed though until 123. Which is fine, and then I held, and it did get to VWAP. I tried selling half of my position, but I mistakenly put, because it's 10,000 shares, instead of putting 5,000 shares to sell, I put 50,000, so my order didn't go through, and I just thought, alright, let me just sell it all at one piece. So that's what I did. I sold it all at one piece right here, right? Yeah, 941 at 7.5 right here. It did have this crazy spike here. It wasn't very long here. Some people just had some really bad executions. Maybe people with market orders. It did get as high as here, but it's not like it actually went all the way up here with all the price action. It was just a few prints that got really bad executions. So I got my sell at this 5 level. Now this thing could hold VWAP and uptrend some more. That's totally fine, but again, DPLS doesn't offer the best range. I mean, this looks massive, right? A big volume candle too. However, this thing only drops from 14.6 to 12, so 2 pennies. Now it is like a 14-cent stock, so it's not that bad, but it does look more massive than what it is. That was my trade here. I did push myself to trade a larger position size. I trade like a $1,200 position. That led me to this $44-ish profit, which is nice. Could have done better. I guess I was just a bit shaky. I tried selling half at VWAP at 1266, which would have been fine. But again, I tried, I put 50,000 instead of 5,000. Had I have been able to sell maybe 5,000 shares at VWAP, I would have been able to maybe hold this and over some kind of an uptrend, which this thing could very well do. Like I could have sold half here at, you know, this 1269 level, and then if it doesn't work here, if it gets under VWAP again, I'll just sell. You know, maybe I wasn't able to get any of this price action up here, but at least I put myself in a position where if it were to have uptrended to 13 or something like that, I could have been executed then and there. But that's totally fine. I was looking at Gamer, but this thing was having a choppy mess. Yeah, I did see it here later on, but this is when I was now looking at DPLS, I think. It did, in that sense, provide a setup here, because this was the big volume candle. This is where you take an entry. In theory, you don't risk off the wick here. You take a risk off the bottom of this candle. And the spread, I hated the spread too, so this thing will just turn it up. Ended up looking like trash. SBES, I didn't you know, see it until later. I wouldn't have really traded this one because it was only up 2 green days in a row, but this thing had a really clean morning panic bounce play. Big volume candle here, big volume candle here, but it was holding this, you know, 20 level. You take an entry there, or maybe it has this right and then it downtrends and you take one at 21ish. It would have been very sketchy though, because it was only 2 green candles. I wouldn't have traded it, but it's nice to see something like this work, even when it wasn't ideal. At least when you look at the daily charts. Another one I looked at was MWWC. This one did it not very well though. It did have a big volume candle here, and then here was another big volume candle, but it was holding above this range, which in theory I would have risked. I don't know, this one would have been too hard to risk off of, because sub pennies here in this price range, I've learned already with that trade the other day, they have a lot of range, so this would have been kind of scary. It's a good thing I looked at DPLS. I didn't try to trade any of these other ones. I don't see anything else that would have been nice. LCOP looks like it had a morning spike, but I didn't go for that. INCC, I wouldn't have traded this for a morning panic bounce. Maybe I would have wanted that one to spike. Yeah, DPLS is trading all weird, but this thing could turn around and, you know, try to uptrend, or maybe not. I had my trade with it. You know, it could have been more profitable, but I think I did really well. Should have been a little less shaky, but that was like the first time I traded, you know, a large position size initially. What I'm really happy with is that I did really well, just looking at the price action, not getting stuck here, or maybe I got in here. You know, I didn't have any of those problems. I had a good entry at 1, 2, 3. Perfect would have been like getting it at 12, but that's fine. I didn't get executed till it was at 1, 2, 3. I'm really happy with that. You know, I mean, the highest it got to was 1289 minus these few crazy prints. 1289, and I sold at 1275. So yeah, I like this trade. I think I did well. You know, DPLS reminds me again like GGII, that just trades all choppy, but I think I traded this very well. I'll make an update later. Pretty happy with this trade so far. Okay, it is 10:19 and I was trying to get in right here. I was doing a very good job stalking this price action right here. This was like a max panic. You know, in theory it could fail here, but this was like a max panic, breaks 11 cents type of buy, and then I tried placing an order multiple times. Thankfully none of them went through, or at least, you know, without a notification as to why it didn't go through. But I tried placing an order. It said that this symbol is not recognized. Maybe I have to sign some kind of agreement form with Schwab, because today E-Trade, a lot of people had to sign an agreement form to trade in OTC. Maybe that's why there's an issue here. I tried placing an order. In theory I'd be in at like 11 flat, risking it off of 1088. We did have a downtrend here, but you know, if it breaks under it, I cut the trade. In theory, if it keeps uptrending, you know, I'll try to sell on some kind of reversal. Volume is fading. We did have some big volume candles here, but this thing could keep turning around. If it breaks this level here, I'd cut the trade for a small loss, and I probably want to look at it again. But in theory, it can hold this 11-cent level. I don't know why I'm not able to trade this. I'm going to try placing an order like on other OTCs to see if there's just a problem going on or whatever it could be. But yeah, I try to get in. It looks like it might not even work if it breaks under this level. I'd cut losses again if it cracks this 1088 level. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is here. Just wasn't able to get that order in, but I'll be looking into that right now. Alright, it is 10:28, so I was just looking at other stuff on the internet, and then I just heard the freaking order execution sound off like 5 times and just at once, and I was like, what the heck, am I in the trade ultimately? Yes. So yeah, it said it went through. Alright, yeah, but I did not get in at the level I was interested in, which was just 11 flat back here, right? 11 flats, and then, you know, I was in the trade. I'm like, alright, I wasn't really wanting to be in this trade at this point, you know, just kind of woke me up, so I just got out of the trade. In theory, I got in at 27.56. I sold immediately just for a tiny profit. This was not my intention to trade this thing anymore. Now I'm just going to stay on watch and make sure that I don't have any orders get executed, because I tried to buy DPLS more than once. Yeah, now I'm just going to be on watch because I don't want another one to go through, and if it does, I'll just get out of it immediately. So that's where I'm at right now. I guess Schwab does accept OTC orders. I'm just gonna see what happens from here. I guess I could have sold for more, but you know, I was not expecting that to happen, so I'll make an update later. Okay, it's 10:45 a.m. It doesn't seem like any more orders were executed, so I'm going to assume, at least for now, everything is okay. One thing I wanted to know, I saw this thing when it was down here with LCOP. I just did not want to stomach this, but this one did work out, that it broke the high here, and now it's breaking the ultimate high of 57. Although it's, you know, a bit it's struggling, but if you draw, in theory, a trend line, it's doing it. I could have considered it when it was, oh, there we go. I could have considered it when it was like right here and it started going back and forth, but I think at that time I was looking at DPLS. LCOP is doing that breakout. I don't like this price action. If it makes like a run to 70 or something and then it goes back to this level, I might consider it, but other than that, I won't be interested in this. Although it's a very nice breakout, this thing could run very, very massively. Alright, it's 11:09 a.m. I probably, because of the time, just will not look at any other trade setups, but LCOP, I missed it. This was a nice panic dip towards VWAP type of setup. In theory, it should have been in at 52.5. I didn't get, I just did not trade. I was just scared, honestly. Yeah. It's doing it 54. Maybe it can go to 58. It's kind of hard with these first dip towards VWAP setups where the top could be. You just have to be very patient and watch the price action, I guess. But DPLS, it did turn around 12.4. Dude, I should have been in this from 11. Now it would have been a tiny position because, you know, it was very speculative, but you know, in theory, I did get executed ultimately at 10:27, which was right here, right? So I don't know, I'm scared. Maybe I have some limit orders that will not be executed until it gets under the 11-12 level or something, you know. But yeah, it could be anything really, but yeah, this one, it did it. It took its time. Could have been in this trade really, but you know, it had that issue with Charles Schwab, and I would have traded a small position anyway, so it's not like I would have had a large position like I did back here. But in theory, that's the case. INCC, nothing. LCOP again, that first dip towards VWAP. CYDY, I was watching this for a first dip towards VWAP setup here. I never really did it. I guess here it did it, but I don't know if I would have been executed there. So that's all I got. I'll make an update later in the day. I probably will just stay away from the markets. I will be looking though to make sure I don't get randomly executed, but this is probably the case. Just 2 trades with DPLS. In theory, the second one was here, but I did not want to hold because it just kind of threw me off that I was in the trade, you know, when I thought I wasn't. So I don't regret that at all. That was a broker thing, not me. Traded this one pretty well, if you ask me. And at least my entry was super nice. Had I have maybe been better and sold half at VWAP, you know, even though it would have been probably less profitable, I would have liked that too. I need to be less scared, but that was a great attempt to trade a first initial morning panic bounce play with a larger size. Alright, it is 3:09 p.m. I likely won't trade anything else, but as a recap, I was looking at this price action here with LCLP, thinking it could be some kind of inverse head and shoulders with VWAP as another level of support. It ripped right through it, and then I considered a dip buy later, but thinking, okay, maybe shoulder, head, and then shoulder, but I was too late. I would have been in at this like 47 level. Once it was at 48, I mean, it got to what, 51. There was some range, but this turnaround was pretty sharp, I'll be honest, and there wasn't anything else after that. DPLS, it got as high as 14. Just to make sure, am I in any trades? I am not in any trades. Yeah, so my my late entry, right, was right here at 1024. I think it was 1024. When was it? No, it was 1027. Right here at 13. Had I have been executed originally, I don't know how long I would have held this, but this was the ultimate turnaround. I should have had this in hindsight. I should have known that, hey, DPLS does this. It does a very disgusting initial morning panic, but then the higher low is the one that usually works out over a longer period of time. I should have been prepared for that, but it was a good attempt nonetheless. CYDY is panicking, but I would have liked it if it was uptrending, because it's only up like one day majorly. I think LTNC is trying to come back, so that might be interesting. If it can run a bit nicer, maybe I'll consider it for morning panic balance plays. Despite where it is on the chart, it tends to be very clean. I don't think I'll trade anything else today. I'll see if there's any, first day green day stocks, any runners like that. Otherwise, I probably am not going to have anything else to trade. No setups that I'm interested in. Okay, it is 7:55 p.m. and I'm here to call it off just to see what has happened. Overall, I had 2 trades, and they were, I guess, what, a $45 day, a larger size, 1200 with DPLS. I could have done better. I could have done worse too, but again, my entry here, DPLS, was around right here. Let's see what exactly it was. Let's get rid of extended hours. Yeah, it was about 1, 2, 3. I was trying to get this lower range, but my order just didn't get executed until it got to 1 through 3, which is totally fine. And I got out at 1275, right about here, which is slightly above VWAP, so that was good. And again, I had that issue with Charles Schwab. I totally was right, nailing the price action here and here as well. I got in, at least I tried to get in actually, at 11 flat. I did not get executed, and then later it showed that an order got filled right here at 1027. My mindset was kind of messed up by then and there. I cut the trade. In hindsight, I should have been, I guess, not just a smaller position size. I should have taken a large position size, because I've seen this with DPLS before, that it has this, choppy initial one, and then it does another one that actually works. Excuse me. And that's what I should have done here. Should have went larger, and it shouldn't have shaken me out. Should have been happy that I actually got executed, although not perfectly, because I was trying to get in at flat 11, but it could have been worse, and I would have been in for a nice profit in that sense, because it did get as high as 14. I don't know where I would have stopped, but it was very nice. And then after that, and NSAV, I did not try to trade it. I was just placing in an order. You can see the limit price was absolutely nothing that is being traded right now. So I just put an order there so I could cancel all orders, so that in theory I might be able to make sure I don't have any orders that, you know, get executed later, because in theory I canceled them all by that price action, not price action, by this, you know, order entry there and cancellation. So INCC, nothing I wanted to trade, although I guess it did come back. In theory it did have a morning panic bounce play, but that was very messy. LCLP, I should have been a lot better. I think it was here perhaps, trading that first dip towards VWAP. I forgot the level. Maybe it was here actually. Tim traded this one, I think, or maybe this one. I forgot. I think it was this one. I'm not extremely sure, but probably should have pushed myself further into trading these. CYDY, nothing I want to do. It's just up. I'd like to see this uptrend more. That's really all I got. I could have done a little better with DPLS, especially when I should have been able to have sold half of my position size and not be, you know, as nervous as I was. But at least I did push myself to trade a larger position size. In theory, my broker messed me up here, so I can't get too upset. And I should have been more aggressive, considering the first dip towards VWAP set us with LCLP, or if anything, maybe even when it broke this level. Although it didn't work out, it wouldn't have been a bad attempt. So that's all I got. Gonna call it off. I hope I can continue the streak, or at least try. You know, whether I am successful or not, I'll just get more experience out of it. I hope I can keep going. I'm pretty thankful to God for today. And yeah, I'll just keep going at it.